my beloved son, my beloved daughter. There is a moment in every life when heaven leans down quietly and whispers your name. It may happen in the silence of prayer, in the middle of a sleepless night, or through an unexpected event that changes the direction of your days. It is not by accident. It is the Father's tender way of calling you to awaken to your purpose. Many do not recognize that this whisper is sacred. They mistake it for coincidence, emotion, or even their own thoughts. Yet it is God Himself, softly moving your soul toward your destiny. I see you, my child, sometimes trying so hard to find answers. You wonder why pain visits your door, why certain dreams seem delayed, why others advance while you remain waiting. But everything that touches your path is sown with divine meaning. The silence you feel is not rejection, it is preparation. God is not absent. He is working in the unseen, arranging moments and encounters that will reveal what you were born to accomplish. There was a time when I, too, listened to a whisper that changed everything. When the angel appeared to me, the fear of the unknown filled my heart. But when I said, "Let it be done," heaven's purpose unfolded. My mission was not clear in the beginning, but peace came when I trusted the voice. My dear one, you too will find peace when you choose to trust the whisper rather than the noise of the world. For your divine purpose begins in silence, in that sacred moment where your soul dares to say yes, even when it does not see the full picture. The purpose God has for you is not small. It carries the light of eternity. The enemy tries to make you believe your life has no meaning, that your mistakes canceled your calling. But the truth is that even your wounds are part of what makes your mission beautiful. God uses your story, the hidden tears, the failures, the victories, to speak through you. Every step, even the missteps, become instruments in His hands to draw others to His love. You are not created to live without direction. Since before you were born, the Father wrote your name into His plan. Imagine, my beloved, that every part of your being carries divine fingerprints. He placed in you particular gifts, compassion, courage, strength, or wisdom, not by chance, but for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Others may try to imitate your path, but your mission is unique. No one can take your place in His plan. You may ask, but how can I know this purpose? The answer begins with stillness. In a noisy world, it becomes difficult to distinguish God's voice. That is why heaven invites you into silence, prayer, and reflection. Purpose emerges when the heart becomes still enough to listen. In stillness, you will begin to see signs, words that touch your spirit, doors that close to protect you, and new ones that open in the perfect time. Purpose is not something you invent. It is something you discover as you walk hand in hand with God. Perhaps you have been through many storms. Each one seemed to take something from you, your peace, your confidence, your hope, but nothing was wasted. Those storms carved strength into your heart. They purified your faith. They prepared you for what is coming next. The fire that once scared you is the same fire that will one day make your words burn with power. You will understand that every trial had a reason, to polish the soul that carries God's message inside you. God reveals purpose little by little, because if you saw everything at once, fear would prevent you from moving. Just as I did not understand what my yes would mean, you are also being invited to trust step by step. Each day of obedience carries you toward your destiny. Your story is still being written, and the author of life never makes mistakes in his writing. Do not compare your process to that of others. What He gives each heart to carry is perfectly measured. Some are called to speak, others to serve in silence, others to heal wounded souls with love and patience. The smallest act done with love is as great as the largest mission shouted from the rooftops. Do not despise your calling, my beloved. Great purposes hide behind ordinary days. Look around you. How many people walk without direction, their hearts tired, their minds filled with noise? You have been chosen to be light among them. You will shine not because of your strength, but because the Father Himself will radiate through your actions and words. Wherever you go, peace will follow. Even your silence will carry grace. Every place your feet step upon can become a place of blessing if your heart remains aligned with heaven. My beloved child, there is a reason you are listening to these words right now. It is because heaven desires your return to divine purpose. The time of wandering is ending. The time to rise is here. You have been under preparation, sometimes through pain, sometimes through waiting, but now you will begin to see clearly why everything happened as it did. What once hurt will now make sense. The things that fell apart were only removing what blocked your path. As mother, I have watched over you with tears and love, interceding for your faith not to fail. And heaven rejoices when a soul dares to say, "Here I am, Lord. Show me my purpose." That single phrase moves angels, opens doors, and changes destinies. When you trust that even the delays carry divine timing, peace will fill you. You will no longer rush. You will rest, knowing that what is meant for you will never miss you. There will be moments ahead when doubt tries to visit you again. When that happens, remember this moment. When heaven spoke to your soul and said, "Your life has divine meaning. Your purpose is not hidden from you. It is unfolding even now." Do not fear. The God who began this work in you will bring it to completion. Write this truth deep in your spirit. I was chosen for this time. You are not here by accident. You were placed in this generation for a reason. To be a sign of hope when others give up. To be a voice of gentleness where anger reigns. To be a witness that love still transforms everything. Nothing will stop what the Father has prepared. The blessings waiting ahead will surprise you. Doors that were closed will open effortlessly, but only because your heart will now be in the right place. Until the inside of you transforms, the outside cannot bloom. That is why God first works in your heart before revealing what lies ahead. He strengthens your roots so that no storm can uproot your purpose. You have cried for answers, and heaven heard you. You said, "I'm tired of not knowing what to do." Beloved, that cry was the sound of surrender. It was your soul's way of saying, "God, take control." And that is when purpose begins to blossom. When the soul lets go of its own plans to embrace divine direction. I tell you this with love. Stop fighting God's timing. Stop doubting your value. Stop running from your calling. What He wants to reveal is far greater than any earthly plan. Even the dreams you considered impossible will rise again, brighter and stronger than before, because now they will be aligned with divine will. Let your heart rest tonight knowing that heaven is working even while you sleep. Your name is written in the light of eternity, and the day will come when you will finally understand how perfectly everything fit together. Close your eyes and listen within. Hear that gentle whisper? That is God saying, "My son, my daughter, you were created for more." Write in the comments, "I receive this purpose in my life." My beloved son, my beloved daughter, do you think it is by chance that certain things happen exactly when your heart begins to question? Do you believe that coincidence guides your days? Or could it be the hand of the Almighty gently shaping every moment of your journey? When heaven wants to speak, it does not always use words. Sometimes God uses the language of signs and seasons. Every sunrise, every encounter, each closed and open door carries a divine message written within it. The eyes of faith can read what the eyes of flesh cannot see. Perhaps you have asked, why does nothing seem to move forward? Or, why do some paths suddenly end? My dear child, those are not obstacles. They are directions. God's signs are gentle but precise. When He wants to protect you, He may block a path you longed for. When He wants to advance you, He will align circumstances so perfectly that you will know it wasn't human hands arranging them. Nothing He does is random. Each delay, each silence, each surprising event announces a new season. When you feel that doors are closing everywhere, do not despair. That is often heaven's way of saying, change direction, your purpose lies elsewhere. God's direction is rarely revealed all at once. He gives you pieces so that trust may grow step by step. The moment you stop fighting against what is leaving your life and begin to trust what is coming, His peace will settle deep in your heart. Remember, when one season ends, another begins. A season filled with light and clarity. Think of the seasons in nature. Winter brings barrenness, but it also allows the soil to rest and renew. Spring awakens what was buried. Summer strengthens growth through the warmth of the sun. Autumn prunes what no longer helps the tree bear fruit. The same happens within you. God changes your internal seasons to prepare your soul to bear greater fruit. Every tear you shed waters the soil of your destiny. Every ending is the whisper of a new beginning waiting to blossom. There are signs that arrive quietly. A stranger's word that pierces your heart. A dream that repeats itself. A feeling of peace when you pray about a specific choice. Do not ignore these signals. They are heaven's gentle language guiding you. God is not trying to confuse you. He is constantly speaking through details, through whispers that the world overlooks. But to hear them, you must live attentively, with eyes open to the sacred hidden in the ordinary. Sometimes even pain carries a divine sign, the sign that something greater must shift inside you. I know you long for certainty, for clear directions written in the sky. But my dear one, God values close relationship over quick answers. He uses signs not simply to give information, but to draw you closer. to teach you dependence and listening. Each time you kneel and ask, "Father, what are you saying through this?" your heart learns to recognize his tone more deeply. It is like learning a language. The more you hear his voice, the more familiar it becomes. Soon you'll sense peace confirming what is divine and restlessness warning you of what is not. There will be days when everything seems motionless, when you wonder if heaven is silent. Yet even then, signs are forming quietly. Just as seeds germinate in the dark soil before they appear above ground, God's messages mature invisibly before you can see them. Do not rush the process. The season of silence is not punishment. It is the incubation of destiny. What looks like stillness to you is activity in the spiritual realm. The angels move unseen, preparing what your eyes are not yet ready to behold. Beloved child, remember that God created time itself. Therefore, he commands seasons with perfect precision. If something has not yet happened, it is because the right season has not arrived. Forcing a door before its time leads to frustration. Waiting in faith leads to miracles. Accepting his timing does not mean giving up. It means trusting that every second is part of an eternal choreography guided by divine hands. Sometimes God will speak to you through the repetition of events. For example, you may keep meeting people who share the same message, or you may hear the same scripture, phrase, or song in different places. That repetition is not coincidence. It is divine echo. Heaven repeats until the heart listens. The Spirit whispers the same truth in varied forms, hoping that your attention awakens. When you notice this repetition, pause and pray, "Father, I am listening. What are you showing me?" And clarity will begin to shine like morning light through fog. Other times, God uses obstacles to redirect you. Think of how water flows. When rocks block its way, it finds a new path rather than stopping entirely. The same applies to your life. Every obstacle pushes you toward your true route. The seasons of difficulty are not meant to crush, but to correct your direction. Many blessings would be lost if you gave up in these transitions. Trust the divine detours, for they protect you from traps you cannot see. My dear child, there will also be seasons of pruning, moments when relationships dissolve, where comfort is removed, and where you feel stripped of things once dear. These seasons hurt deeply, but they are sacred. Pruning does not kill the tree, it multiplies its fruit. God removes what drains your strength to make room for what will nourish your purpose. Cry if you must, but do not cling to what heaven has already released. Freedom often begins with letting go, and then, after the pruning, comes the season of revelation. Suddenly, everything that was unclear begins to make sense. Dreams align, doors open, the wrong people fade, and the right ones appear. Peace settles in as confirmation. You no longer push, you flow. This is when you know you are walking within purpose. Your steps feel lighter, decisions become clear, and the spirit within you rejoices. You realize that all those confusing signs and long waiting periods were preparing this moment, the harvest season of divine fulfillment. I want you to imagine your life as a journey where each stage has divine weather. Sometimes there are storms, necessary to wash away pride or distractions. Sometimes there are calm mornings, gifts of rest after long battles. You must read the weather of your soul as attentively as a sailor reads the sea. When trials rise, anchor your trust in prayer. When blessings flow, remain humble and thankful. Every season, bright or dark, moves you closer to your eternal purpose. My beloved, open your heart to divine observation. Practice seeing God's handwriting in small things. The gentle encouragement of a friend, the timing of an encounter, the beauty of a sunrise that meets you just after you prayed for a sign of hope. Heaven communicates continuously, but few truly watch. Begin to say, "Holy Spirit, give me eyes to see." Once you make this prayer sincerely, you'll find messages shining everywhere. And know that not all signs are external. Some appear within. An unexplainable peace, a courage rising when logic says fear, a sudden conviction that points your soul toward obedience. Internal signs are perhaps the clearest of all, for they show the Spirit moving directly inside your heart. Learn to trust these movements more than appearances. God guides you from within before he changes what is outside. There will be times when signs seem to contradict your expectations. You may pray for something and receive its opposite. Do not despair. Reversals often hide blessings. What seems like loss may actually save you from long-term pain. Do not interpret God's actions with the impatience of the moment. Purpose requires spiritual sight, the kind that sees beyond immediate comfort into eternal benefit. When you cannot trace his hand, trust his heart. My son, my daughter, the Father is speaking to you even now. That restlessness inside you, that sudden urge to draw closer to prayer, that inspiration you feel to forgive or to start anew, they are all signs. Heaven is signaling your next step. Do not ignore it. If you have been feeling drawn back to Him lately, it is because a new spiritual season is opening. And once you enter it, revelation will come faster, blessings will be deeper, and your peace will be unshakable. Let this truth settle into your soul. Nothing happens by chance. You are being guided with tenderness. The same God who commands galaxies is organizing every heartbeat of your life. Trust Him in every season, in waiting and in fulfillment, in silence and in song, in loss and in victory. When you trust unconditionally, you begin to see divine meaning in everything around you. Every sign becomes a spark of light guiding you home to purpose. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, what signs has heaven been showing me that I have ignored? Maybe it's time to return to that unfinished dream, to reconcile with someone, to take a bold step of faith. Whatever it is, do not delay. The hour of revelation has arrived. The more you respond, the clearer the voice of God becomes in your days. When uncertainty arises again, recall this sacred truth. God speaks through everything: nature, time, encounters, silence, and love. Let your days become an altar of listening, and everywhere you walk, expect to find heaven's fingerprints guiding your way. Write in the comments, Lord, help me recognize your signs. Wonderful. Let us continue with the same sacred atmosphere and divine tone of revelation. Here is chapter 3, written as if the Virgin Mary herself were speaking lovingly, yet with urgency and power from heaven. My beloved son, my beloved daughter, how many times have you cried inside your heart, saying, Lord, how much longer must I wait? You prayed, you believed, you shed tears in silence, but heaven seemed motionless. I know the weight of that silence. I see your exhaustion. And today I come to tell you, your waiting has not been in vain. In heaven, nothing is wasted. Each second of waiting carries divine purpose, shaping your faith, purifying your motives, and strengthening your spirit for what is to come. The waiting season is one of the greatest tests of faith because it touches what is most fragile in the human heart, the desire for control. In waiting, you face your limits and realize you cannot command time or outcomes. That is where the true trial occurs, in choosing trust when you do not see results. Yet, my child, faith that has not been tested cannot yet carry the weight of destiny. Waiting is the forge where strong souls are made. Many people misunderstand delay. They think God has forgotten them, but delay often means protection. There are blessings that, if they arrived before your heart was ready, would have become burdens. There are missions that require maturity, patience, and spiritual clarity before they can unfold. The waiting is not punishment, it is preparation. Just as gold must pass through the fire to shine, your faith passes through waiting to gleam with divine brilliance. I watched my own heart wait, for years watching the promises about my son unfold step by step. There were days when I didn't understand the paths we walked, but every moment of confusion became a place of deeper trust. My dear one, when you wait, you enter into cooperation with heaven. You are not wasting time, you are being transformed. Heaven works while you are still, and often the greatest miracles take shape in the invisible fabric of waiting. Perhaps you feel as if nothing is changing. You pray, yet doors remain closed. You ask, yet answers seem far. But each prayer you speak becomes a seed buried in spiritual soil. The soil of waiting is dark, but within that darkness, life begins to bloom. The invisible roots of your destiny are spreading beneath the surface. When the right time arrives, you will see the first shoots of promise emerging, and you'll realize God was working all along, not around you, but within you. In the moments of delay, the enemy whispers lies. God doesn't care. You're forgotten. You'll never see victory. Do not lend your ear to him. The truth is that heaven's silence is not absence. It is trust. God trusts you enough to let you walk by faith, not by sight. When you continue to believe even in silence, you become unstoppable. The strength of a soul that loves without seeing is terrible power against darkness. That's why your faith is tested, because the Lord wants to make it unbreakable. You have asked for miracles, beloved, and they will come. But miracles are not born in haste. They require the womb of time, watered by patience and hope. Think of a child in the womb. Would you rush its birth? If born too early, it suffers. But if carried to term, it thrives. The same is true of divine promises. What seems like delay is heaven saying, "Not yet. I am still forming what will bless you completely." Every day of waiting refines your spirit. Impatience melts away, pride softens, compassion grows. You begin to see how others also struggle, and your future victory will not make you arrogant, but humble and merciful. That transformation is what the waiting was always meant to produce, a heart that knows love, not entitlement. You will look back and bless the delay, for it built virtues that comfort others and restore lives. Do you recall the story of the seed that must first die to sprout? Waiting is like that. It feels like loss, losing time, losing control, losing certainty. But in truth, only the outer shell of your impatience is dying so that your true strength may emerge. It is through surrender that power grows. The more you release your timeline, the more swiftly heaven can act. For miracles do not descend into crowded hands. They fall into open palms that say, "Let your will be done." My dear son, my dear daughter, waiting becomes easier when you understand that God is using it to align you with destiny. While you wait, He moves people, opportunities, and even circumstances to fit perfectly for your arrival. Imagine trying to join a puzzle before all its pieces are ready. That is what premature blessings would be. Incomplete. But when you wait, you allow every piece of the divine plan to lock into perfect harmony. And oh, when that harmony arrives, it will astonish you. Suddenly, all the closed doors will swing open. All the delayed dreams will find their place. All your unanswered prayers will burst into bloom. Then you will cry, not with frustration, but with awe. You will say, "Now I see that every no was a greater yes disguised." You will realize that even the hardest seasons were instruments of mercy. But until that day arrives, you must learn the sacred art of perseverance. Continue to pray even when you don't feel inspired. Continue to prepare even when nothing moves. Do not waste your waiting. Water it with faith. Use this time to grow, to forgive, to serve, to deepen in love. For those who wait the right way come out stronger, wiser, and more radiant than ever before. Waiting done with gratitude is worship, and worship always attracts miracles. There will be moments when impatience burns in your chest. That is when I ask you, come to me in prayer. Whisper, "Mother, teach me to wait with peace." I will intercede for you, and my love will calm your heart as a mother calms her child. The timing of heaven is perfect, even if it's hidden. And one day, when you look back, you will thank God not for how quickly He acted, but for how wisely He did. Let me tell you this truth from the Father's heart. The waiting season is often the proof that you are chosen for great things. Those who carry ordinary callings do not wait long. Those who carry extraordinary missions must endure refinement. The greater the promise, the longer the preparation. So do not envy those who seem to receive results faster. Their journey is not yours. Your waiting is sacred. It is proof that heaven is investing deeply in your destiny. What if, beloved, the prayers you thought unanswered were actually answered differently, through protection, through rerouting, through unseen blessings? What if heaven's no saved you from disappointment, heartbreak, or danger? When you accept that everything works for your good, peace returns. That peace is not passive, it is power. It silences fear and builds unshakable trust that nothing and no one can steal. I see you kneeling with questions still unspoken, wondering if you are strong enough to continue. Let me assure you, grace will meet you. You are not waiting alone. Angels stand guard over you, marking your perseverance as incense rising before God's throne. Every tear you shed becomes a prayer that reaches further than you imagine. Your cries have been heard. Your heart has been noticed. Your faith is moving heaven. And now, beloved soul, this message reaches you because your waiting is nearing its turning point. You have endured much, believed much, and held on though you could not see. Heaven has recorded your endurance. Soon the first signs of fulfillment will shine, and everything will change swiftly. Remain faithful in these last steps because breakthroughs often come right after surrender. Do not give up before dawn. The light is closer than you think. When the answer comes, remember the lessons of your waiting: humility, trust, gratitude. Never forget that true faith is not proven when promises are fulfilled, but when promises seem far, yet you keep believing. That is the kind of faith that pleases the Lord and multiplies miracles. You will see, beloved, what was once delayed will return multiplied. You will testify not only of answered prayer, but of the transformation that happened within you as you waited. Now lift your eyes. The dawn is near. The silence is ending. Heaven is about to respond in ways that will leave no doubt that this message was divine preparation. Peace will flood what once was anxiety. Joy will bloom where sorrow built its nest. The waiting season is turning into the season of revelation. Be still, remain faithful, and carry hope like a lamp that never goes out. Write in the comments, "I will wait with faith because God is working for me."